Masterclass Live. We have a pretty loaded show for you today. We are going to be talking about the number one rule of effective content promotion. And to do that, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be bringing on Chad Pollitt. If you don't know who Chad is, he's probably one of the foremost speakers on content promotion. He's written a number of different books on it, including the Content Promotion Manifesto. And so what I want to do is kind of set the agenda for today and kind of just talk about the content crisis itself. In the video, I'm going to elaborate on some of the bigger challenges that we have and the amount of content that's going out every single day. But what I want you to really be able to focus on is, hey, you know what? If this content crisis is real, am I contributing to the problem, or am I finding a solution with my own marketing to overcome the challenges that are presented? So let's dive into that video.
Okay. But you were saying that I think that you had like a ratio of the amount of time you create that you're going to spend creating the content. Is it 3-to-1, or it was some sort of ratio that said, you know what, for every hour you're putting into content, you have to spend like almost 2/3 of that time promoting it after you've developed it?
Right. So the ratio, I haven't, let's see, I believe it's the 80-20. Yeah, it's the 80-20 rule. No, not the 80-20 rule. 60-40 to 80-20. Yeah. So basically, you want to spend the 60 to 80% of your time promoting content versus creating content. Now, whether that's through financial means or through time, so on and so forth, the investment, the problem. So the problem with inbound marketing and content marketing since its inception was 90+% of everyone's time, energy, and effort and financial resources went into creating content. Well, that's a problem because that only leaves 10% for promotion, whether that be earned media, owned media, or paid media. Okay. So what I did was I dug in to the numbers, did a lot of research, and this took me years to figure out, by the way, that you can produce less content, but promote it more using more resources and be more successful than creating that more content. Does that make sense?
It absolutely does. It absolutely does. One of the things I wanted to read you some numbers here about how much content is going out, because, I think that most of the marketing world is just saying, you know what, the answer to the content problem is just create more content. It's almost like the answer to like inflation is to print more money. I'm like, no, that's, you know what I mean? It's like, it doesn't add up.
Yeah. No, that's the perfect analogy.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So there's a company called Go Globe. They put this out every year. So I'm just going to read you some of these things. YouTube, more than 400 hours of video uploaded every single minute. Let's see here. Facebook, 243,000 photos are uploaded and 70,000 hours of video content is watched every single minute. LinkedIn, 120 new accounts are created. Snapchat, 210,000. All of these things are every single minute. Now, I can't find WordPress, and I know it's on here, but, I do know for a fact.
I've seen the numbers before.
I know that there's 2 billion blogs, and I know that there's one blog for every 7 people on the planet. So you're talking about a massive content crisis. You know what I mean? And you're just a needle in a stack of needles. And if you aren't aware of that, and you're gonna hire a marketing company to solve that, that's the first question I believe you got to ask is like, what are you going to do to separate yourself so that your content, is going to be seen?
All right, so as you can see here, we covered a lot of stuff, and I'm hoping that you understand the gravity of the situation. Some of the things that we didn't get to discuss are the idea, the concept that, AI technology and writing technology is going to flood the internet with more content now than we ever could have done manually, and that's a serious problem, and we have to be able to figure out what we're going to do to kind of get our content to be separate, to separate our content from others. So let's go over some of the things that we learned. The first thing is that we're in a content crisis and very few marketers are talking about it. And you need to understand, if you're running a marketing team or you're working with an agency, that's one of the number one questions we have to say is, hey, you know what? If there's an ocean of content, what are we going to do to be unique? All right? And the answer to the content crisis is not to pump out more content. Okay? I think that we get so tied up in our editorial calendar or trying to say a bunch of things that what we don't do is we don't stop to think of, you know what? Just because I build the content doesn't mean people are going to find it. Like the concept, if you build it, they will come. That's awesome for Field of Dreams, but that's just not marketing. All right? Now, the other key factor, the golden rule of this, and the number one reason why this video itself is being made, is to talk about the rule of content. And so the rule of content that Chad talks about, and this is data supported, is that you want to do 20% of you want to spend 20% of your time on developing content and 80% of your time promoting content. Now, we didn't say how, and we're going to talk about that in future videos, but just some quick ideas on what you need to do is you need to identify who are the people that are already talking about your content. You need to find those influencers and micro-influencers. I'm not talking about those super polished or mom blogs who've got millions of people. I'm literally talking about niches or clusters of people that are talking about your products and services. I promise you they're out there, and we think that organically that they're going to find your products and services and then just promote them to their friends. It does not work. All right, what you have to do is you have to build relationships. You have to get your content in front of them. You have to use tactics to keep those relationships. And sometimes you have to think about what's in it for me. You have to understand how email marketing is going to work with that. And then you're going to also have to form partnerships with these people. All right, because these are the people that already have your audiences. Once you've developed an audience and once you've developed a decent newsletter list, getting your content developed is going to be, creating great content is going to be essential, but pushing it out to making sure that the right message is getting the right client at the right time or the right potential client at the right time is critical. And then finally, if you have a marketing agency or a marketing team and you say, hey, you know what is your content promotion strategy? And they can't give you an answer like I've given you today, that's a serious problem. And you should probably be talking to them about saying, hey, you know what? We might have to rearrange our priorities because the old model and the things that even worked in 2020 aren't going to be working in the future. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe. We are trying to go live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. We're looking for your feedback. Please like the video, please make comments, and we'll see you next time.